Greetings, beloved hearts of love's eternal presence. I, known as the Goddess of Peace in the Ascended Master realm, that is the fifth dimension of your planet Earth, greet you this day. As you listen to my discourse, might you just pause and send me a message and call upon myself, the Goddess of Peace, and my angels of peace, to come into your life and enfold you in our greater and cosmic peace, compelling presence and love. Beloved hearts, by now I imagine most of you who would be listening to my discourse have some awareness of the sacred fire, the sacred flames. Let me just say, for now, a reminder that the mighty light rays, the love rays of creation that exist and flow throughout our universe, that cosmic light and cosmic love comes from our sacred fire element. And the greatest source of the sacred fire element is the great central sun at the center of the universe. Now, of course, I am speaking of the sacred fire, not the physical fire that you have in your world. Unlike the physical fire, the sacred fire does not burn anyone upon contact. The sacred fire is the safest source of light and love in the universe. And if you could shower, my precious hearts, if you could shower in the sacred fire, you would find it much more refreshing and cleansing than showering in the water element in your world. The sacred fire is lovely and warm to the touch. And I trust that one day in your future, in your resurrection, and certainly in your ascension, you will have this God-given opportunity to just shower and bathe in the sacred fire love of the great central sun. Now, the knowledge and the presence of the sacred fire has been lost to the mass of the people. Knowledge of the sacred fire is not taught in world religions or in fields of education. Only almost 100 years ago did the knowledge of the sacred fire come into your world through the great Ascended Master and Avatar known as the mighty Saint Germain, who in the previous century, known as the I Am activity, did he introduce the Ascended Master instruction to the world. Instruction which included knowledge of the sacred fire and how to call it in and work with the sacred fire. Today, there are millions in the world who have studied or continue to study this sacred knowledge. Yet for the most part, it has not reached the mass of the people. Now, certainly before this time, this last century, there existed ancient mystery schools where such knowledge was taught to earnest seekers and former initiates seeking spiritual illumination and enlightenment. Many of the Ascended Masters who come to you through this messenger are masters who were former students of the ancient mystery schools, studying the Ascended Master instruction regarding the sacred fire. Now, precious heart, it is not my purpose in being with you today to teach you the knowledge of the sacred fire. Today, there are a number of spiritual organizations who offer this knowledge, including the Radiant Rose Academy, in such classes as their master's classes and planetary classes. Let me just say that the study of the sacred fire is extensive and comprehensive. My purpose is to remind you that the greater light, the greater love, light and love that each of you can generate, the greater light and love of our universe, all of that light, all of that love comes from the sacred fire. All the cosmic qualities, powers, and gifts that are offered by the spiritual hierarchy who live in the greater realms of perfection, that are offered to awakening humanity, all those qualities and powers, they are all sourced from the sacred fire. Archangel Michael's cosmic blue flames contain the greatest power and purity of the universe itself. Mighty Saint Germain's violet purifying flames contain the powers, qualities, and secrets of sacred alchemy, the laws of transformation, transmutation, and transfiguration. My own emerald green flames hold the quality of a peace-compelling and commanding presence. The Christ's golden flames contain universal illumination. The Goddess of Liberty's cosmic blue flames contain the power and qualities of freedom and liberty. All of this I simply offer you as an example. For those of you who have not yet studied the knowledge of the sacred fire, perhaps these few words may inspire you to do so. Such knowledge can be found in the green books of Saint Germain or the master's classes of the Academy, as well as from some other spiritual organizations in the world. Now, all of us ascended masters, great cosmic beings of light, and the entire vast angelic host, we all draw the sacred fire from the great central sun into our temples. Once we draw the sacred fire into our temples, it is there with our own legions of angels that each of us begin to charge and qualify that sacred fire love from the central sun to contain the qualities and powers that each of us represent to life. I, as the goddess of peace, I transmute the sacred fire love of the great central sun with my all-compelling and commanding presence of peace. This is my soul's gift to life. And as I do this, the sacred fire of my eternal peace takes on a beautiful, brilliant, emerald green flame containing my qualities that my life represents. In my case, peace eternal. From my temple in the fifth dimension, as each of you discover us, your ascended host, and learn the ancient knowledge of decree, then as you turn your attention to us and call upon us, decree to us to enfold you in our sacred fire love. It is here that we receive and fulfill your calls. The universe functions upon the great electromagnetic laws of creation, and we use the mighty rays of light to project our sacred fire and its qualities to you and your world. Now, like the entire spiritual hierarchy who live in the fifth dimension of your planet, we are your spiritual hierarchy. And we are doing everything that we can to get the attention of the people of Earth who are living in the third dimension. It is a blessing to all life that the numbers of peoples upon the earth who are awakening is increasing dramatically each day. It is by those who awaken, are awakened, and who turn their attention to us. Each of you becomes a wonderful bridge in which we can transfer, we can offer into your lives our gifts, our sacred fire that we represent. It is usually only as one begins to awaken and grows a desire for understanding things of a spiritual nature, and then desires spiritual growth in themselves, that one's own life finds a way to bring to their attention the knowledge of the sacred fire, so that one can begin to use the sacred fire to set their lives free of all discord and limitation, and live a life that leads to greater freedom and illumination, and then begin to assist the rest of life on earth to become free. Now, since human beings do not know how to source the sacred fire into their lives on their own, for this reason, we are all here. Angels, ascended masters, great cosmic beings, goddesses, archangels, Eloah, Elohim, avatars, immortals, and more. We are your spiritual hierarchy, either living in the fifth dimension or the greater dimensions of the universe or the central sun itself. And our work is to offer all of you who discover us our powers, our gifts that can set your life free. And the greatest of our powers come to you in the sacred fire. So here you must discover how to call upon us to fill you, to enfold you, to charge all the activities of your outer life with our sacred fire love. Not only can we send you our sacred fire powers from our temples, we can, through the legions of angels who work with us, we can project directly to you some of the sacred fire directly from the great central sun at the center of the universe. This is the greatest source of light, of love, that is sourced from the sacred fire. Now, in my discourse with you, today I introduce you to the great central sun's flame of eternal peace in its full compelling and commanding presence. By now, I trust that you set aside some time each day to enter into your spiritual protocols, your spiritual exercises, and your meditations. I find that it is wonderful to first enter into the sacred fire, to decree to your ascended host for the various kinds of sacred fire to come into your life before you enter meditation. For it is in the silence of your meditations, if you have already moments before have called in the various activities and qualities of our sacred fire love, it is while you are in the silence of your meditations, the expansion of our sacred fire to you can take place inside of you. Now, precious hearts, let me be as real as I can and say to you, there is no resurrection, there is no ascension, not even a partial awakening, without a constant, expanding sense of peace in yourself. With all the world's problems and the greater stress that we see entering into people's lives, or even when there is a sense of inner conflict in your lives, this is where my presence, my peace, my eternal flame of peace that I am as the goddess of peace and that I represent to life can assist you immensely to live a more peaceful and even happier life, even though there may be many traumas and problems out in the world. Now, I wish you to know that any flame from the great central sun that you call upon, and then I or others of the ascended host direct to you, if that flame comes from the central sun, once it touches you, it naturally desires to enter you, your heart, and then begins expanding and expanding and expanding throughout your body, your mind, and feeling side of life. Will you try to remember this, precious heart? That any sacred fire flames that are called, that you call for an ascended master to send you from the great central sun, the great central sun's sacred fire flames, once they touch anything or anyone, and they will always seek to anchor within your heart. The most important thing to remember is that those flames naturally, on their own, with their own intelligence, as they enter you, they just love to expand, expand, and expand. Once your mind, body, and feelings, and all the energy around you is saturated with, for example, my flame of eternal peace, this is where you will feel such a peaceful and positive presence, fully active in yourself. This will assist you in every aspect of your lives. This will help you to use your minds, your thinking process more efficiently. My flame will keep the discord of the outer world from touching you. Therefore, you will feel better. And once my flame enters the very cellular and molecular activity of the substance of your body, my flame that has purifying activity within it, my flame will remove all the stresses out of your physical world, your physical body, and your health will improve as well. Would you remember that my flame of eternal peace has a purifying activity to it? So, beloved hearts, let's do this. When you get a chance, write down this decree, this prayer call, and use your voice. Try to remember and realize that before calling to any of us, the universal law states that you must pour your love to us. When you do, your love coming from your hearts actually comes to us upon a ray of light. When we receive that ray of light that holds your love, then we send our sacred fire love back to you upon the same ray of light that came from your own heart. So always remember, precious, before calling to an angel, an ascended master, a goddess, to any of us, pour your love first. Then you are fulfilling the cosmic law. And here is a decree, here is a call. Call upon me in the following way. And of course, first, address your own divinity. For example, my beloved great God presence within me and above me. Mighty I am that I am. Beloved Goddess of Peace, legions of angels of peace. Project the great central suns, compelling and commanding, flame of eternal peace into my own heart flame. Connect and anchor your flame of eternal peace within my own heart, and from there expand your flame of eternal peace throughout the substance of my entire body, my mind, and my feeling side of life. Fill, enfold, and flood my entire being and world with your great central suns, compelling and commanding, flame of eternal peace. I thank you, beloved angels of peace, beloved goddess of peace, and I fully accept and acknowledge you have received my call to you. I now sit quietly for 2 minutes, breathing evenly, knowing that I am receiving your eternal peace-commanding presence growing inside of me now. Together, let us enter this decree one more time. Beloved great God presence that abides within me and above me, mighty I am that I am. Beloved goddess of peace, legions of angels of peace, project the great central suns, compelling and commanding, flame of eternal peace, into my own heart flame. Anchor and connect your flame of eternal peace within my own heart, and from there expand your flame of eternal peace throughout my entire body, my mind, and my feeling side of life. Expand, fill, enfold, and flood my entire being and world with your great central suns, compelling and commanding, flame of eternal peace. I thank you, beloved angels of peace, goddess of peace, and I fully accept and acknowledge you have received my call to you. I now sit quietly for 2 minutes, knowing I am receiving your eternal peace commanding presence that is growing inside of me now. And so, beloved hearts, from this moment on, know and trust that my flame of eternal peace is alive in your hearts, growing and expanding every day throughout your mind, body, and feeling side of life. It will be important that you give yourself and that you give me the opportunity to build a momentum. We must have continuity, and we do this by entering this call. Call to me once a day, and I will respond. My angels will respond. And then we will gain a momentum. It is through the momentum that what we give to you is never lost, never set aside, becomes fully active, and grows within your life and world. Will you remember, beloved hearts, that the sacred fire is the flame of ultimate perfection and freedom, and has within it the great God intelligence and desire to set your life free. I bless you. I enfold you in my peace-commanding presence, beloved hearts of love. I am the goddess of peace. And realize, once my flame is in your hearts, know that we are one with each other forever and forever. Namaste, my dear friends of the light. Be the light. Be the peace-commanding presence that you seek. And then give that light. Give that peace to others. Namaste, namaste, namaste.